The winter storm also dumped a fresh coat of snow up on Mount Charleston.
Yeah, this comes as many families flock to Lee Canyon for the final day of winter break. It got so busy, though, getting there turned to be a big challenge.
Fox 5's Les Criffeton took the drive.
Those of us anxious to take advantage of the new snow and the last day of the Christmas break headed for Lee Canyon Monday, hopeful to get in some winter fun, and they could if they got there early enough. That was the key. By 11 a.m., the parking lot was full and people were being turned away.
This much snowfall, people were anxious to get out, not just people coming to the resort, but then, just Las Vegas, Clark County residents excited to see something new, within their driving range.
The drive most of the way was easy. The road was dry. It was sunny. But then it happened. A traffic jam that rivals rush hour here in the valley. From about the 7,000-foot elevation sign until you got to Kyle Canyon Road, it was bumper to bumper. Then as you approached Kyle Canyon Road, Nevada State Police started turning people away. The reason? No parking at the ski resort or anywhere nearby. Those with season passes could get through, but then had to wait for a parking spot to open, so there was yet another wait. Things will get back to normal Tuesday with everyone heading back to work and school. If you missed out on hitting the slopes on the last day of the Christmas break, think about this. There's more snow in the forecast.
We got more snow in the forecast. There's a possibility of around 2 inches tonight. And then Wednesday, Thursday, we're looking at about 4 to 8 inches coming. So 2023 is looking to treat us right with a lot of snowfall in the beginning here.
Les Criffeton, Fox 5 News, local, Las Vegas.